We're going to have a coaching clinic. Let's start with Benji. Micahel Atherton, and what was Benji's question?
Well, Benji Williams here, first of all, has got an English passport and a New Zealand passport. And his mum says he doesn't know which country to play for. Benji, come on! But I think the issue is a run-up, actually. I was quite interested to see that he just starts, almost like Mark Wood used to start. And if we look at Mark Wood, the way he's changed, I'd throw it up to Doull and just ask, for a young cricketer, 10-year-old, how does he know how far to run, whether to start from a kind of standing start, whether to walk in and then gather momentum?
OK, Simon Doull, you're up there. I'm going to play this for you. What do you reckon? Mark Wood, old on the left, short run-up, and then the more rhythmical one on the right.
Yeah, well, look at the one on the left, and it always looked to me like Mark Wood was just trying to get too much in a short period of time. Now, I know he talked to Mikey Holding a lot about the longer run-up, the rhythm that he gathers, and I think he just looks a lot more comfortable and a lot less stressed at the crease. And I think that was the key for Mark Wood, just to look less stressed and a lot more comfortable at the crease. So that longer run-up just gave him a bit more rhythm, a bit more time to get into his run-up and time to gather. And you look at the running style on the left of the right of the screen now, it just looks more comfortable. He looks more like a runner, more like an athlete, and it just put a little bit less stress on his body as well, I think, at the point of delivery and at the crease. So that certainly has helped Mark Wood a lot. The only little thing I'll say about our first man up was just that those arms are going across the body a little bit too much when he's running. See those arms, the elbows are out wide. Try and get those elbows back in behind you a little bit more, so you're sort of just running normally rather than out to the side like this too much. So that will be the one thing I will say. If you're a batsman as well as a bowler, I'd choose England because it's a lot easier to get into their side at the moment.
Touche.
That was what I was going to ask him, actually. So.
Right, thanks, Simon. Back in your box. Scott Nicholls, what was this then, Michael?
Well, I'm going to ask Nasser here because he starts with his bat up, but if you look when the bowler bowls, his hands go down, and the bat never really starts to pick up, so he's got no flow. So you see a lot of players now stand with their bat up, but a lot of kids then don't continue to pick it up. Those hands go down.
Yeah, I mean, with most bits of sport, really, you have to have a backlift. Whether it's in golf or tennis, you have to take the racket back. In cricket's the same. You have to take it back. So if you start high, you have to go higher to then play the shot. You can't go from there and then down, and he looks like he's a little bit late on it. So with any cricketing shot, make sure you do have a lift of the back to come through and hit through the ball. So don't just stand there like that, because then everything becomes too late. That is part of your shot, is picking the bat up.
We see most batsmen now stand with the bat up. When you're coaching kids, do you teach them bat down or bat up, or just what feels natural?
Whatever feels natural, because now, when I first started, you'd see a lot down there because that's what they see on TV. Now they're seeing Joe Root and Virat and all these lads and girls waving their bats around. That's what they're doing. But part of that, you speak to Joe Root, part of that is the rhythm.
The rhythm of the hands.
And you have to have some kind of rhythm in your game, and that is also part of picking your bat up.
Jean
is from Auckland, I think. So we've got a few clips coming from New Zealand, which is great. And she and her mum says she wants to be a white fern. So I wondered whether Dooley could have a look at this.
Dooley, you
any
up there?
tips
and I'll play that
to
again.
Get her on the journey to becoming a white fern?
I think we see two deliveries here. The first one I was quite impressed with. It went away, it swung away, and the second one swung back in quite nicely. Really good action, I think, from Jean in Auckland there. When I look at this, again, just a couple of tiny little things. When that arm goes up, it's sort of going up and inside a little bit. All I talk about is straight lines, and if you can continue to try and get straight lines with your run-up, with your bowling action and through the crease, they always help. So straight lines means nice and straight arms by your side. Don't imagine a line down the centre of your body, and try not to let your hands and the ball get across that centre line. So you're running very normally, you're up into your position, all these things are staying in a nice line and coming through. Follow through is as important as the run-up. That's one thing I will say. And there's some nice wrist position. Swung the first one away, swung the second one back in. If you can do that, keep it up, you'll have success.
Good stuff. Moving on to Cameron.
Well, we've talked a lot in our coverage this year about getting too far over to the offside. In fact, Cameron Nass stays a bit far leg side and loses his off pole as a consequence.
It's a pretty good delivery, though.
Surely start on off stump. But I would say it's a pretty good ball. That is Jimmy Anderson-esque. That angle in, nip away.
That is a great.
So what are we saying on Cameron?
Well, I mean, he's not wearing a helmet. And he just looks to me to be slightly, on the retreat to leg. You want to be so your head is over off stump, but sometimes you have to say fair play to the bowler. That's a pretty... Just watch there, that front foot was starting to go to the leg side. Get over if you can. But it's a pretty good ball. I like this.
What's Zach then?
We probably had ball, sock, line. This looks the perfect setup to me. Zach Lowe has got a little contraption there feeding the balls. He's got a net behind him, and he's got a beautiful pick-up and flow of the bat, actually.
You better explain ball, sock, line a little bit more.
We just used to have a bit of string down from the washing line.
Yeah, but this is the modern world.
Yeah. Well, exactly. It was 40 years ago, but that's lovely.
It's sort of a drill that you were doing with Keezy the other day, isn't it? Just get a mate to underarm a couple of deliveries?
Yeah.
Like that.
Just hit the ball either in the air or hit the ball along the ground. Practice both, really. It's a beautiful setup. I mean, that is perfect. He's got good balance as well. I think mum or dad ask about getting a base, and occasionally he loses balance. And if you just look at that shot there, he just comes up on his toe a little bit too much, and that might lose you your balance a bit. But that is pretty good. I think he's also got an Emirates Arsenal shirt on, so that's top draw.
Pete.
Well, we've been talking about weird theories this week. Pete Honeywell, what are you doing? What are you doing? Look at this for a run-up.
Hang on.
This is the George Bailey
It's the first time I've seen
bowling.
this.
But actually, when he releases the ball, he's in a pretty good position. We've talked about the fundamentals this week, but there is room for a bit of unorthodoxy from time to time.
Absolutely. You know, all throughout the game there's room for that. There's no one way of doing things. It's things that have been successful. And that run-up obviously is success. I bet he gets mid-off. Look at mid-off there. He's in the way. Can I see? Mid-off can't see the batter there in any way at all. All right, get out of the way. And he comes through. Nothing wrong with that.
It's a bit like me bowling to you and starting from behind the car. If I come from behind the car and do that...
We struggle to see you anyway, Wardy, to be honest.
Well done, Pete. All right. Catch.
Yeah, we're going Ethan Brooks. This is Nolan Dorritch, just down the road. I think Ian Bell's old cricket club. Neil Dexter bowling. It's a worldie. It's a worldie at second slip.
You cannot do that, Ethan. You cannot do that.
Bigger point, using slip fielding is so important. We've seen that in this series.
Absolutely. And also the quality, by the way, the quality of some of these streams from club cricket.
Amazing,
look at the quality of that. I think some of them even have a little bit of commentary on. There is nothing wrong with that or the celebrations. They're coming from everywhere to celebrate.
Maybe a second 11 game, actually. I think it's a pretty good cricket club, and they play some, representative games there.
Right.
Talking about catching, this is David Wainwright. Nice scene, dogs around. I'll just say, just be a little bit more dynamic. He gets a bit static there. It's a great catch, but he's a bit static. You want to be kind of running in on the balls of your feet, ready to go.
Right, Nass, what does he mean by that?
Well, just if you are practicing slip catching, obviously you get in that position there. But if you watch Paul Collingwood or some of the lads that play now, they come in and they jump and get into a position and get ready. It just gets you in better positions all the time to get ready and catch the ball. So don't, unless you are practicing, I haven't got Mike here, unless you are practicing, unless you are practicing slip catching, then try and get into a position like that to dive. It's a better position to dive off.
Just one thing that Peter Moore said to me, and I've been a professional cricketer for a long time before I even got taught to catch properly. He always talks about the head position as well, so your head going to the line of the ball. Would you subscribe to that?
Yeah, I think hopefully, like with that slip catch we saw, hopefully it's natural, and to open up a little bit. That slip catch, we saw that, he opens up and you almost catch it behind you a little bit, and that's where you take your head. Sometimes you get a bit, and that's when you get hard hands. When you go in front, you get a bit hard hands. Try and take it behind you, softer hands.
Right.
We're going from the sublime to the ridiculous here. Sam Massey's lad. This is a lovely little video.
Oh, this is brilliant.
2 years of age, and he gives it a real good smack.
Yes.
He looks lovely. He's got a nice flow through the ball. The only thing I would say is when you notice very closely, he actually grips the bat the wrong way around, which a lot of kids do at the start, but eventually he will change
how do you know
that.
if you're advising a parent, how do you know if they're
Might be a left-hander,
left-hand, right-hand,
absolutely.
really? Some started right-handed and ended up left-hand, so you just never know. At that age, don't mess too much and just sort your washing out in the background a little bit as well.
That's the stumps. What are you on about?
Okay.
I mean, that is a very difficult question, though, for a coach, when to actually say to a 2-year-old, actually hold it the other way around. But I suppose if you do it early enough, they learn straight away because they're so adaptable, kids.
And he looks to have an eye for the ball.
Yeah, he does.
So
absolutely.
He'll be fine. And we're going the other end of the scale here now. 57-year-old who's opened the bowling for 45 years at his local club, the stalwarts of club cricket. Looks like the old knees might be starting to give way, but big shout out to the stalwarts of the club game. We all know them,
On
and
and
it
off the
can't
field.
survive.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
On and off the field. You know, I go to my lads' cricket club at Hutton and there's someone hoovering away on a Thursday and putting all the beer out and everything. Those people, those unsung heroes in club cricket, on and off the field, keep it going for others, the next generation.
Club cricket has been so important for us, and every single cricketer that's on show today.
Absolutely.
Has come from somewhere. Keep
Jack.
the sound up to this, Jack
Right,
McBride.
I'm going to press this. We're going to be quiet. Sound up, please.
Mind the windows.
Absolutely nail that.
Right, we're
Great
gonna
shot against Churt, Surrey League.
We're going to do it again. Sound up, please. How long have we got on this? Can someone tell me how long we got left?
Livy.
Oh, Livy we're going to.
Yeah, maybe Dooley can come in here. Nice follow through. The importance of the follow through.
I'll read.
How important, how much extra pace do you get from really driving through the crease? This is Chiddingfold Cricket Club, which I think is down in Surrey.
Slower. It is.
And Livy looks to have a nice follow through the crease.
A lot to like about that. I think there's she's got a really nice action. A lot to like about what she's doing there through the crease. You talk about follow through, Athers, Wardy, Nasser. So vital to everything you do prior to and through the crease, and then follow through. That's nice. Get that arm going through, keep the head moving nice and forward as well. I think that's a terrific action. There's a lot to like about that. One thing I will say, and moving right through to senior cricket, don't stop trying to run down the pitch a little bit. You've got to get warned. You've got to get warned at least once or twice in your life so that you know you're following through nice and straight. You're not getting away too quickly. If you get away too quickly, you'll end up losing your balance a little bit. So try and follow through as straight as you are legally allowed to do, but just get warned. Get warned at least once or twice in your life. Otherwise, you're not really doing it properly.
Right, this is hilarious.
Well, I'm coming to Nass here. This is
your area of
yes,
expertise.
no, wait, sorry, it's a bit of Monty Panesar, actually. If you remember Monty in Auckland when that game was coming to a thrilling draw and he virtually front crawled into the crease. I think they needed one to win here and he slipped mid-pitch and was given run out in the end. The next one is even better,
Oh, you want me to do
if
the
we
next
go
one?
to the next one, Ned, this is classic Nasser
This is classic
Hussain.
me, yeah.
No.
Yes. No, this is Stuart and Atherton. We showed Stuart and Atherton in India.
I like the tantrum at the end as well. I don't know who was given out. They both could have been given out, but one's got to go.
One of the funniest run-outs, you must be able to get it online somewhere, Samit Patel. Do you remember that when he slipped up? And also Dooley, is Dooley there? He didn't get run out, but Mark Richardson playing that sweep shot and then getting cramped.
If you haven't seen that, just YouTube Mark Richardson cramp or jump online and Google Mark Richardson cramp, and you'll hear the squeal, the absolute squeal as he went down trying to sweep one. Test match in Mohali, I think it was. So yeah, have a Google of that if you want a little Sunday morning laugh.
Who was your worst victim? Andrew Strauss.
Strauss, got to be.
Yeah, my most famous. There's a long
Lot
list
to choose from.
Butcher has never forgiven me for many a run out, but Strauss was the most famous, and I'm quite proud of that, to be honest.
Well, you were fantastic in that spin watch, Doco,
Yes.
where you just completely turned your back on the captain.
I made sure I got my bat in first and then turned my back on him.
Right, Amy.
Amy, yeah, interesting. Bowls from way behind the stumps, from about 23 yards, so can certainly get closer to the popping crease, which will give her more of an opportunity. It's hard enough bowling from 22 yards or whatever it is than behind the stumps. And the other thing, I understand she got no ball by the umpire because a couple of deliveries bounced twice in this game, and the umpire obviously right to do that, but don't be put off by that. You know, it's difficult, isn't it, sending the ball down. Young kids sometimes, small hands, big ball, sending it down 20-odd yards. If it goes wrong, don't be worried by it.
And also the umpiring as well. Try and be a
Leaning,
little bit
yeah.
lenient. I watch quite a few games, girls, boys, young games, and they are quite strong and strict on wides. And what that makes people do, boys and girls, they get 2 for a wide maybe, and the ball's there. So you end up having an over where the boy or girl just stands there and lets it go and gets 2. Now that's the dullest game ever. go and whack the ball. You'll get 4 or 6, and even if you miss it, you should get the wide. So almost you are rewarding people for not playing a shot. So and umpires are putting themselves out, and they've probably got a kid playing in the game or whatever. This is not a criticism. Just try and bit more lenient, so those boys and girls will come back for fun.
But coaching generally, I had quite an interesting chat with Alan Butcher last night, Mark's father, who gave me and Nasser a little bit of stick on Twitter, saying we've been very critical of coaches down the year. And it's a fair comment, and happy to take the criticism. Really important at a young age. India have got one of their best coaches, Rahul Dravid, working with a lower age group. And I think that's where the best coaching has to be. Sometimes it's easier to make a player worse than better, and bad coaching is worse than no coaching at all. So a shout out to the coaches, but a shout out to good coaches as well.
Well done, you two. Fantastic. Thanks for everybody who sent their clips in. We'll do it again at some point during our coverage we go throughout the summer.